got such a jam-packed show tonight to get to. I'm not going to waste any more time. Y'all listening to me running my lips as someone on this show will continually say about me. Let me get everybody in here. I'm going to start first. Typically, I do our Queen of Hoops first, but you know what? She got her own segment going on here a little later on this evening. So I'm going to save the best for last. So, I got to welcome in my man, Sideline Sports Network's own, Mr. John Scheer is in the building. John Scheer, what's up, my brother? How are you, sir? Good evening.
I wanted to tell you because it was killing me while Mr. Haggerty was on there saying Matt Stafford's never played a playoff game. 0 for 3 in his career. 4 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 63% completion percentage, and Calvin Johnson had 211 yards at New Orleans in a playoff game, and they got screwed against the Saints in that game. They also got screwed against Dallas in a playoff game as well with Matt Stafford and Calvin Johnson. So I just wanted to make sure those stats, those facts are correct, Mr. Haggerty, because I wanted to talk to him and tell him that. But I didn't get to.
But they ain't won, so
No, I'm just saying he did play
listen,
3 playoff games, not 0.
We still got to put respect on Detroit's name, especially when we have sports
of course,
reporters
I'm not
without
knocking Detroit.
pay.
I just want to make sure the facts are correct.
I got you. My man Ray Lynn is in the building. Good evening, sir. How are you?
Yes, that is right. We have to talk about the Lions when the sports reporter without pay is in the building. And yes, we did get screwed against Dallas. You have never seen anything like that in the history of football. They threw a flag. You know, sometimes you throw a flag and they're like, oh, our bad. No, they threw the flag, called pass interference on the field, then got together and said, you know what? No pass interference. Matt Stafford said, you got to be kidding me. That's awful. Never mind. Y'all done got me started, man. Don't disrespect
I'm sorry. I know my football. My brother's a Lions fan. I know all this.
So let me go ahead and get one of our 2 Dallas fans in here, and he's already shaking his head. Mike Caratanudo, Believe in the Pac-12 podcast. Oh, Mike.
What's up, Eric? I love you, buddy. I mean,
what's up, buddy?
I love hearing this excuse, the line. It wasn't a bad call, Ray Lynn, but it's funny how Lions fans don't talk about the 2 illegal hands to the face and, the rip down of DeMarcus Ware, where it was incomplete and Stafford probably would have fumbled the ball, but nobody talks about those plays. We don't want to talk about those plays, right? Because it wouldn't have benefited the Cowboys. But that's okay.
Eric,
I love you,
Don't
Eric.
introduce your next guest, Eric.
Congratulations to your Eagles on the playoffs, on the win. Congratulations, Eric. See, I'm in a happy mood. It's a new year. It's a new year.
Say what? Say it again, Zone. Mr. Tyree is in the building. And, sir, can I ask you a question to start the show tonight?
Can I make a statement real quick before you ask me a question?
Yes, sir.
The way my man bumping his gums, I probably really could have showed up at 10:50. What's up, E? What you got?
I just wanted to say to you, sir, I'm very proud of what you got going on. I just wanted to ask how the wife is doing. I know you are expecting. How are things?
Oh, yeah.
She's doing good. Today is a little challenging, but she's doing pretty good.
Okay. Well, please give her my love and all the blessings from all of us, sir. And congratulations to you again. And like I said, last but not least, I had to bring her in here. This is our Queen of Hoops because, like I said, she got her own segment tonight. The one and only Miss Megan Price is in the building. Megan, I know that we are friends most of the time, and you know this week we're not, so I'm okay with it. But like I said, I have 8 Dallas Cowboy friends that I love and respect. Once I hit 10, I'm done with y'all. Okay? That's it.
That's it. That's all.
That's it. So y'all are grandfathered in.
Okay.
No matter what happens, I will always love y'all, and I always got your back. Them last 2 are like options. It's like, hey, you might not. But let's start with something that was reported yesterday, and I know it's an off-the-field topic, but we got to address it. I don't want to spend too much time on it, but I want to have this conversation with y'all because now that we've had a little over maybe 36 hours really to process this, I would like to get everybody's thoughts on what happened yesterday with Antonio Brown. Now, I did read a tweet from Adam Schefter that the Bucs have not officially released him. They are trying to work with the NFL to find a way on how to move forward with this. But Bruce Arians, because I was in the Zoom chat room yesterday at the post-game press conference, and the first question that was asked to him by a Tampa Bay journalist was about AB, and he said, Antonio Brown is no longer a Buccaneer. Let's talk about the guys who were on the field and won the game yesterday. So, Tyree, I need to get your thoughts, sir. How you feel about what we saw yesterday?
I think AB may have went about it the wrong way, but honestly, I don't have an issue. I mean, the fact of the matter is this. if what is being said is true, they said that he had an ankle injury. They knew he had an ankle injury, but yet they still forced him to play. Now, do I think I coach? So do I think under any circumstance that you should leave your team? No, I definitely don't think that. However, I don't think you should play if you're hurt. If he's saying his ankle is hurt, I'm not AB. I don't know how bad his ankle hurt. And I hear people saying, on Facebook and on Twitter that an ankle is not a serious injury. That must be for people that's never sprained their ankle before, and that's not an athlete. Because I'm telling you right now, I sprained my ankle, and it's hard to do the things that they do. Planting,
he sprained his ankle in those boots he was wearing after the game.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, you can make as many jokes about it as you want to. You can say he's whining. You can say what you want to say, but I got to take a page out of my boy Karen Tenuto's book. And until we play with a sprained ankle in an NFL game, I can only imagine how hard it is. You know what I mean? So that's my take on it. I mean, now granted, I don't condone AB leaving. I don't condone that. And then it's a monetary issue with it too. But that, I mean, some of that comes back to the vaccination card and a lot of other stuff. But I mean, if he's hurt.
Okay. While I agree with your assessment, here is what I have a small problem with. If you do have a sprained ankle, then you shouldn't be jumping around in the end zone as you're leaving the field, because that to me does not show that you have a sprained ankle. That to me shows there is a bigger issue at hand. So, John Scheer, again, looking at everything that we've seen, knowing the red flags that are the past that make up Antonio Brown, what do you make of this? And the question that I want everybody to answer is he done in the NFL? John Scheer.
Oh, hey, you want to come to me? All right. AB should be done. He is done. If Tom Brady's not keeping you, you're done. Like, there ain't nowhere else you're going to go, because Bruce Arians said right away, you're no longer a Buck. I mean, if you look at that picture while he's jumping up and down, the Bucks are trying to run a play while he's hopping up and down on his sprained ankle. He's hopping up and down in the end zone while they're trying to run a play. I mean, how can you call those guys brothers and teammates and quit on them in the middle of a game? I don't care about the incentives. You quit on the guys that you call brothers and teammates, and you're hopping up and down the end zone while they're trying to win a game to get themselves in the best position to go about themselves in the playoffs and try and make a Super Bowl run. And all you care about is hopping up and down, throwing your shirt in the crowd, taking off your gloves, taking off your pads. Mike Evans was trying to talk to you on the sideline, and you were having none of it. You took all your stuff off. Now, I don't want anything to do with that guy. I don't care how talented you are. You don't deserve to be on an NFL roster. It is a privilege to get to play, to be a professional athlete. There's a small percentage that get to do that, and you're taking that for granted, and you've gotten countless number of chances. Now, the thing that's lost in all this is that Bruce Arians did not want him back. Then as soon as Chris Godwin goes down, he changed his stance on, oh, we're not sure about the fake vaccination card. We're not sure if we're ever going to bring him back, to, oh, yeah, well, we need him, so we're going to bring him back. So that I didn't care for, because then Bruce Arians went and got rid of him right away. So I think Bruce Arians is a hypocrite. I don't want that to get lost in all this. I think he's a hypocrite when he goes and gets rid of him, but yet he didn't want him, and then he wanted him as soon as they need him. I don't like that, but I don't think Antonio Brown deserves to be on an NFL roster ever again. I mean, he's had so many chances, and you're a professional athlete. There's so many players on practice squads, free agents, that would kill to be in your spot, and you act like that. You don't deserve it.
Okay, so let me go to Megan Price, because Megan, you are in the medical field, okay? And you deal, I don't know if you deal with situations like this, but I'm sure you deal with individuals who you can look at them, and you being the medical professional would say someone needs to put their arms around this individual and keep an eye and watch out for him. Like I said before, we have seen situations like this with Antonio, to where, if some people say, well, he's always leaving all this money on the table. I really don't think this man is hurting for money, in my opinion. Now, I don't know his story. I don't know his backstory. I can only get what I've heard from other people, But I think Ryan Clark really put it best, as someone who knows Antonio. He said he never quit on the team. And once he did that, that was the final straw. So then my question is, playing devil's advocate, as I always do, especially here on the sports arena, is why didn't someone pay closer attention to this, Megan Price?
I mean, I think that we've known that Antonio Brown has the ability to blow situations up. We've seen it happen not only on the football field many times, but many times outside of the game, outside of the stadium. We've seen some bad things come up for him in his personal life. And, he's been broadcasting, going off on his baby mama all on social media. He's videotaping it. He's written songs about her. Like, there's just a lot that he's done to show that he has some mental instabilities. I'm not going to say that he's unstable. I'm not a doctor by any means. And I'm not in Antonio Brown's head. So I can't tell you if he has some mental issues or not. And I'm not going to venture out and say that. But he is showing signs of some instabilities. And for someone to not, I wondered the same thing, and kind of the same thing with Ben Simmons. Like, is there nobody in your camp that's like, hey, is everything okay? What can we do to help fix this? Like, what's going on? Can we not help? And I kind of feel that way about Antonio Brown too, but I definitely feel like he left in the wrong way. And according to Ian Rappaport, he reported that AB felt like he was too injured to return to the game because of the ankle injury. He was cut from the team on the sidelines, and then they made him leave. And so this was what we saw, the way it's being painted by that report, is that what we saw was the reaction to being cut from the team. And do I agree with your reaction? No, but I do think that there was something going on the sidelines that we don't know about. We don't know. We're not privy to all the information about what was really being said. So, and we have no idea if he was really injured or not. Like you said, he was jogging off the field. He wasn't wincing in pain. He was jumping up and down. But adrenaline can make you do a lot of things. Adrenaline, you're mad, you're angry. You may not exactly feel that pain. I mean, that's just something that we see on the field and on the courts a lot of times. Adrenaline, you don't necessarily feel the injury right away. Now, he is at the Nets game tonight as we speak. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what he has going on, but I definitely think there should have been somebody in his camp say something like, are you okay? What's going on with you? What can we do to help?
Yeah. So let me pull Raylin into this, and I'm going to throw an audible here because I think Raylin, out of all of us, sir, you have a fresher perspective. The five of us have worked together for some time, and we kind of know each other's mindsets. You bring kind of a fresh analysis, if you will. But I want to present it like this. With mental health being as important as it is, and the spotlight being on it as much as it has been over the last 2 years, as a Black man in America, we are taught one way. And the mental health portion, I think, is lost when it comes to us. We are taught to hold ourselves to a different accountability. We are taught to suck it up, don't cry. We are taught to not express our emotions because it is a sign of weakness. So in Antonio Brown's position and everything that he's had to endure his entire career from college till now, what did we miss? And as a Black man, what can we do? Because I truly believe we need to help him.
I don't. Because I don't think nothing wrong with him. I don't think nothing's wrong with him. If you go back and watch I don't remember the reporter he did the sit down with, where he looked at them and said, ain't nothing wrong with me. They want y'all to think something wrong with me. And Antonio Brown, like anytime an athlete marches to the beat of their own drum, they paint him as crazy. Think about how people talk about Kyrie Irving. Why? Because he marched to the beat of his own drum and he don't toe the line for nobody. Whether you like what he's doing or not, it don't make him crazy. Antonio Brown ain't crazy. When he left all that money on the table with Oakland and did that interview, he said, I don't need this money. I'm rich. I'm an entrepreneur. I done invested in businesses. I don't need to do it the way they want me to do it. It's amazing to me that whenever the media and fans feel like it, they can create a narrative of a player and we'll just run with it forever. Antonio Brown was drafted in 2010. And from 2010 until 2018, we never heard a negative word about this guy. All he did was go out and perform and be the best wide receiver in the NFL. Then he has one locker room dust up with Ben Roethlisberger and the coach and recording thing. And all of a sudden, when people speak on Antonio Brown, it's this guy's had chance after chance and he's always been a problem and he's a detriment to the team. When? Since 2019? When? 2022? He never suited up for Oakland, so I don't know how he was a huge problem for them. He played one game in New England, right? So we're acting like this guy's been a career journeyman and causing problems everywhere he go. As for yesterday's incident, in the same breath, people will say he quit on the team. They'll turn right around and say they cut him on the sideline. So who quit on who? The same things that players do to make us love them, the way Antonio Brown was a vibrant, like when he scored, he was going to celebrate, twerking in the end zone, all of that, that made people love him. So when he does something in a negative light, he's going to do it in a grand fashion. Oh, you're going to cut me because I don't want to go back in? Okay, watch how I exit stage left on this. He was no longer a Buck before he walked up out of there. So he didn't quit on the team. They fired him on the sideline. That's the report. That's what Megan just said. She said that Bruce Arians, and I'm reading it myself, he didn't want to go back in because he said he didn't feel he was hurt. He was healthy enough to play. And people are acting like that's news. Go look at all the articles that came out leading up to this game about he was a game time decision and they wasn't sure if he was going to play. Nobody was sure AB was going to play. And to Megan's point, Arians never wanted him back in the first place. That's what I think this all boils down to. Arians never wanted him back. And the first opportunity he got, he said, think about this. You're down to the New York Jets, meaning you're going to pass the ball because you're down. Godwin is out. Fournette is out. You have Antonio Brown, and you cut him in the middle of a game. How does that make sense? In what world does that make sense? He was looking for a reason. Arians didn't want him back after the vaccination. Godwin's out. We kind of need him. First chance we get you out of here, bro. And then today reports come out, he ain't officially off the team yet. Why? Because they might need him. Because that's how they operate. They might need him. So we ain't done with you yet because you're talented and we might need your services. That man ain't crazy. Ain't nothing wrong with him. And if I was the Rams or Dallas, I'd be on because Gallup got an ACL injury. Robert Woods is out. DeAndre Hopkins is out. I'd be on the phone trying to find Antonio Brown right now because the dude talented and can play. Ain't nothing wrong with him.
All right, Mike, let me get you in here for the final word on this, and then we are going to move on because, like I said, I wanted to have this conversation, and I thank everybody for their input. But Mike Carrot-Tenuto, as a man who has, been around the block a couple times, and we've seen instances like this, never to this degree or never to this level, but you and I have had numerous conversations about different players, past and present, and, if this would have done that or he would have done this. Talk to me about it, Mike. I need to know, brother.
Yeah, I mean, as to what Ray Lynn's saying and Megan talking about, Bruce Arians did say that. He played last week. He was cleared last week and he played limited, I know, but pretty well. If he's banged up, I'm with Tyree on that. Like, again, I know all tongue in cheek aside, but you're trying to play any sport on a sprained ankle. I grew up playing. I played football, but I grew up playing center mid. I never had high ankle sprains, but trying to run and trying to cut, you all know, even trying to walk on a sprained ankle, which you can do, doesn't feel good. But yeah, him bouncing around doesn't look good. Yeah, in there, if you talk about seeing it, obviously, I go to our boy that played for both of us, T.O. He's sitting there in Jersey working out in his driveway, and nobody ever said. People might say, to Ray Lynn's point, people might say that T.O. was he was a teammate, this and that, never walked on his team. They might say he beat to his own drum. He was selfish, this and that. But T.O. did his thing. You look at receivers, that position in general in the past, evolving and stuff like that. Randy Moss with the straight cash homie comment, which of course rubbed people the wrong way, but which I thought was hilarious. But for Antonio Brown, yeah, I see what Raylan's saying. I don't think the locker room and the sideline dust up with the Steelers coach and Big Ben probably was the first. I think maybe Mike Tomlin obviously did a good job of keeping it in-house. But for Antonio, yeah, I'm not going to go and say he's crazy. I saw that same interview that Raylan mentioned too. He's not crazy. He said he doesn't need the money. The off the field stuff, nobody's crazy about. I see what John's saying, where nobody would want him or they shouldn't want him. But if I've never seen anybody get cut in the middle of a game. I don't know. You can't really file paperwork in the middle of a game. But yeah, he took it to his own level. Mike Evans tried to calm him down, and he wanted no piece of it. So yeah, do I think I'm with Ray Lynn. I'm not gonna go and say he's crazy. And if it is a mental health thing, then yes, I would hope he gets the help. I know Bruce Arians also said that when they're talking about the fake vaccination card, I mean, he never said that. I mean, they didn't make any commitment to it, but they also never said he'd be gone. So I can see how playing the fence on that is frustrating. But yeah, I mean, Antonio Brown wanted out of Oakland at the time, and it caused his little fit to get out of Oakland and go to ends up in New England. And then if the off the field stuff doesn't happen, I mean, who knows? Who knows what happens with him? Obviously, his time in New England. But yeah, I mean, to leave on your team, I mean, the overwhelming thing of this, and I know somebody put out, I saw some really good tweets yesterday, lastly, Eric's talking about how the Bucks as an organization have screwed players basically on getting bonuses. And he was only, because they thought when they first saw it that it was, they didn't want to put him back in the game because he's only like 8 receptions away and like whatever yards it is. He's only that many away from getting a $300,000 bonus, and they put up how the Bucks have done it in the past. But then when it surfaced that he didn't want to go back in the game, his ankle didn't feel right. Again, like Tyree said, we don't know the conversation on the sideline there, but I will say this: it's definitely not a good look to quit on your team, any sport, any level, any time to do that, and especially when you have, my disdain, Eric Lastly, but Tom Brady vouching for you and wanting him to get help and if he needs help. And even Bruce Arians, I know it could be tongue-in-cheek for Bruce Arians, as everybody else has said, but I mean, Tom Brady vouched for the guy. He lived with the guy. He was, looking in on him. And I mean, you got to think that Tom Brady also had a situation like that with Aaron Hernandez, and not knowing what truly was going on with Aaron Hernandez, but even talking to Tim Tebow, like, hey man, you got just direct him in the right direction. And again, I'm not putting Antonio Brown in that, so nobody take that as that way. But if he does need help, yeah, like Megan said, he needs it. But at the same time, you don't quit on your team like that.
Agreed. I want to thank y'all for having this conversation with me. Like I said, I wanted to get everybody's thoughts and perspective on it. We're going to take a real quick break because I got to show some love to my man, Tyree. Everybody make sure you check his show out tomorrow night. We'll be right back, and we're going to get into more of the NFL with the Sports Arena in just a moment.